All right, so today we're going to learn about least common multiples. So this is what our table of contents looks like so far. We're doing least common multiples on page 7 of our notebook. So I've already written down the title of the notes and the learning target. So remember, I'll post these later so you don't have to copy them and watch the video at the same time. I'm just going to read through the learning target and go through some examples with you now. So the learning target is, I can find the least common multiple of a pair of numbers. So not too many keywords here, just the important thing we're doing today is learning about least common multiples. So I'm just going to highlight that. And then just like I did last time, highlight where it says example number 1. So I know where to find the examples when I look at my notes. And then we have two numbers here. We're going to do 6 and we're going to do 4. So first, we're going to do what we did on page 5 of our notebook, which is just list some multiples of 6. I'm going to start by doing the first 5 multiples. Oops. So I'm going to draw 5 blanks, 3, 4, 5. And I'll do the same thing for 4. So I drew 5 empty spaces, and now I'm going to fill them in counting by 6s. So when we count by 6s, we start with 6, and then 12, 18, 24, 30. And then I'm going to count by 4s, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And then we stop and we look and we see if we have any numbers that are the same for both. So what I notice here is that I have a 12 here and a 12 here. And those are the only numbers I see that are the same, so that means they're also the smallest number that is shared by 6 and 4. So that actually gives me my answer. The least common multiple of 6 and 4 is 12. And that's my final answer. I'm just going to highlight that 12 one more time. Okay, and the reason is because that is the one that 6 and 4 share, and it's the smallest number they have that is the same. Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to pull up a multiplication chart really quickly, just to remind you that we can use multiplication charts to help us with these. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here's my multiplication chart. If I wanted to do multiples of 6, I would just find that where it says 6 and I would look at all of the numbers that are next to it. So they count by 6s, 6, 12, 18, 24, and I could also find 4 on here as well. I prefer the multiplication table instead of the calculator for these types of problems because it just basically gives you the answer right there. So you can use a multiplication chart to help you if you want to. And we're going to do just one more example together. So here's example number 2. And we are going to find I'm going to abbreviate and put LCM of 10 and 15. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to list the multiples of 10 and I'm going to list the multiples of 15, and I'm just going to start with 5 multiples. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I do my multiples of 10, I'm just counting by tens. 10, just looked up green before. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then when I do 15s, this is where a multiplication table might come in handy because not all of us have our 15s memorized. So I would do 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. And all the pattern is as I was adding 15 each time. And now I look for which number is the smallest that they have in common. So here, the number I see is 30, so that means that's how I'm going to write my answer. The LCM of 10 and 15 is 30. And then you're going to do some practice problems on your own. So just make sure when you go to copy your notes for today that you leave page 6 empty. All our even numbered pages are going to be empty, so we're only writing notes, if you haven't noticed, on the odd pages. So this is what our notes are like so far, and I'll post these so you guys can copy them from the PDF instead of from the video if you prefer.